The erasure or diminishment of women has been something that's been really popular on the left with the last year or two. Whether it's allowing biological men to compete against biological women and take spots away from them on trophy podiums and scholarships and in media headlines, or it's, the general erasure of the values that traditional women have, the erasure of the biology, the biological facts of what make a woman. We've even had Wikipedia and Merriam-Webster dictionaries update their definition of what a woman is to modern woke speak. And now J.K. Rowling is out there absolutely destroying the new Joan of Arc play, because Joan of Arc is being depicted as non-binary with they and them pronouns. Women's rights campaigners say that to rewrite female history is an insult. I would 100% agree. It's also an insult when they do it to men. It's an insult when they do it to anybody. When you have an actual factual, event or person, to bend who that person is just for political points is pathetic. Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling has ridiculed the Globe Theater's portrayal of Joan of Arc as non-binary after women's rights campaigners said the switch was insulting and damaging. Ms. Rowling is a longtime campaigner of women's rights and has spoken out over concerns on trans individuals having access to women-only spaces. Mail Online's exclusive yesterday on Shakespeare's Globe Theater new portrayal of Joan of Arc as non-binary and using pronouns they, them, have sparked extensive backlash from feminists and historians. While Miss Rowling's entry into the debate was the lightest of touches, it will be seen as hugely significant of supporters of her views and causes. It came after a Twitter user criticized the Globe's new Joan production. Her remark of "coming next, Napoleon was a woman because he was defeated at Waterloo," and liked by Miss Rowling on a social media timeline. It came moments after Heather Binning from Women's Rights Network told Mail Online that the play was damaging to women. She said, "This demonstrates just how our arts and creative industries have taken on the woke mantle without realizing that being kind to one group of people actually hurts and damages other important and fundamental groups." Joan of Arc was female. Her early years were spent cooking and cleaning and looking after the animals. When she was 10, she had a vision that she was going to fight for France. In order to do this, she took on the outward appearance of being male. This had nothing to do with feelings and everything to do with the biological reality and disadvantage that being female brought. Many women throughout the ages have had to adopt maleness in order to be taken seriously and advance their ambition. I don't even know if this is supposed to be a man or a woman. I don't know. To rewrite female history is an insult. Using they, them pronouns for an individual grammatically incorrect and ugly and confusing to many in society who struggle with language. The Morning Feminist academics said that the twist on Joan was, quote, modern nonsensical ideology. Dr. Sarah Rutherford said the idea the historical heroine could be non-binary was insulting. She said, "This offends me. Joan of Arc is a female cultural icon." I knew that it was going to be up to the women to push back against this woke nonsense. The men can't do it. They aren't listened to. But when women do it, they actually have a chance. Quote, "She was escaping the constraints of being a woman at the time. Non-binary, I have been told, means neither female nor male. We know she was a woman. Please stop applying modern nonsensical ideology to historical figures." MP Rose Duffield said, "Misogyny and the erasure of women, our words, our privacy, our story, our history, our spaces, dressed up as art, politics, or academia is still misogyny." And Victoria Smith called out the Globe for its defense of the upcoming production. She wrote online, "You're right. You won't be the first one or the last to decide that gender nonconforming women aren't really women." And Anne Widdecombe, former conservative MP and Catholic herself, told Mail Online, "Holy figures in religion should be treated with respect." She said it's insulting when people play around with the saints just because they want to make some kind of point. It's a farce beyond measure. Joan of Arc was a woman. There's no evidence she thought of herself in any other way. She was a woman. How on earth someone can suggest that she was non-binary is beyond me. The play is effectively de-womanizing her. They are effectively rewriting history. I think she would have laughed at it in utter scorn, while Shakespeare would have clutched his head in disbelief. Women's Equity Party leader Sophie Walker added, "When I was a little girl, Joan of Arc presented thrilling possibilities about what a young girl could do against massed ranks of men. Rewriting her as not female and presenting it as progressive is a massive disappointment." This is like absolutely insane. Like dozens and dozens of prominent women coming out to say like enough is enough. And you know, I'm 100% here for it. Like 100%. The idea that you can just do this to score political points is insanity. Now, of course, the theater has doubled down and defended itself, confirming that the figure uses pronouns they, them in the show, but insisted Shakespeare would have approved. I'm sure they know. I mean, why? Of course, they know exactly what Shakespeare would have wanted. I'm sure Shakespeare would have been all about gender non-conforming, fake made-up garbage to score political points. What these people are getting now is exactly what they wanted. The people they're appealing to, though, don't have enough expendable cash to pay to go see this thing anyway. So what exactly is the point? That you can stick it to Shakespeare or women? A cry for courage erupts in the Globe Theatre this summer with premiere of I, Joan, a powerful, joyous new play which tells Joan of Arc's story anew, or in another word, said a different way, reimagined, rebelling against the world's expectations, questioning the gender binary. That's the second sentence in promoting this. Joan finds their power and their beliefs spread like fire. What? Joan has been adopted as a feminist icon, and for the suffragette movement was even featured on their posters. Frank Ferretti, emeritus professor of sociology at the University of Kent, told Mail Online, "Playwrights are allowed to have a bit of poetic license, but I think what is interesting about the play is that it very much falls in with the idea of rewriting history. The reinterpretation violates the historical reality. It's plundering history to legitimize views in the here and now. Someone like Joan of Arc would not have had any idea what non-binary was. It is a recharacterization of something that didn't even exist at the time. It completely violates the meaning of history and projecting of a fantasy backwards. I imagine in some time someone will suggest Jane Austen was trans or George Eliot was non-binary. It completely violates the meaning of history, and it's the projecting of a fantasy backwards. For French patriots, Joan of Arc is someone very special. Her role was all the more heroic because she was a woman. Debates about gender identity currently ongoing. I don't care about it. Like, I don't care. You know, and this is like, you know, the same, you know, BuzzFeed ranks J.K. Rowling among major villains like O.J., Jim Jones, and Benedict Arnold. What? Like, I'm sorry, am I supposed to take you seriously? It's absolutely ridiculous. Of course, Rowling has faced criticism from progressive pundits over her stance on, you know, women, particularly as it relates to children and women's opportunities like sports. If 2020, you know, in 2020, Rowling made headlines when she tweeted, "If gender isn't real, then there is no gender attraction." If it, you know, she follows the science. You know, she follows the science. And for whatever reason, you know, the woke left likes to go after J.K. Rowling for saying, you could see a lot of the comments, the counseling of women continues. Women are being erased everywhere. As a member of the LGBT community and someone who knows people in these circles, I can tell you a lot of people are not happy with the T movement. It started out fine, but it's going way too far. Okay. So don't book tickets and will woke go broke. But JK, I stand. I mean, these are everyday people replying. Nobody wants this garbage. Nobody. They get their headlines, I suppose. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you click that red subscribe button down below. And as a reminder, if you haven't yet, Coffee Brand Coffee, my company, has launched a double calf blend this week. I would love for you to try that out, or our cold brew bags. We also opened up our Roaster's Choice to about 50 new members. This is like ultra premium small blends every month. I think there's only about 550 total spots, and we're averaging 5-star reviews on it. So if you're a coffee head and you want to try something different every month, make sure you sign up for Roaster's Choice. Or if you like tea or cocoa, we have that too. Use promo code TheQuartering to save today, and I appreciate so very much the support.